Hey guys, so let's have a conversation. Let's talk a little bit. You guys have been asking me about, like what my favorite games are for a bit. I thought maybe we could have a little bit of a conversation about that. Oh man, don't know where my phone is again. I do this. I start a stream and I have no idea where it is. So anyway, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. You guys have seen me play, just an absolutely absurd array of games. And I sort of jump around a lot because I like a lot of different genres. So I guess, a lot of like people come in wondering, essentially like what like what do you actually think is good? Like so that's something maybe I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking with you guys because I wasn't sure how long I'd be streaming tonight because I have a lot of things that I'm doing today just in general for essentially the channel, cleaning some things up. I have to add the tags in. I know I promised I'd add the tags into that stream, and then I didn't. I was gonna do that before I started the stream, and then just a bunch of stuff happened, and then I forgot about it. And then I also, like I said, I don't even know where my phone is. So like, there's just a lot going on right now. So, essentially, there's all these things coming out, and all these other games that I can't really play, but I have a huge library of games just because I'm a PC gamer that sits and grabs the free to play the stuff that's in the free to play rotation on Epic, and then over the years, through various jobs over the years, I have bought some games over the years, and so I've just acquired a huge library over the years, the long years I've been gaming, and I also, obviously followed all of the consoles as they came out growing up and everything. I typically needed to have the most recent console. I just needed it, of course. Everybody wants the latest console. You gotta brag to your friends about the latest console and stuff, and then play the latest games. Obviously, right? And so, I remember one of the things that was I think one of the most memorable times in my life that gaming was huge for me, where like something big happened, was when my mom got me for Christmas. Yeah, and I asked for this. I didn't think she'd actually go for it. But the one year I was like, look, if you don't want to get me, just don't get me a bunch of stuff. Don't do that again. Just get me an Xbox and Halo. So all you have to do, there's this new game coming out called Halo. The Microsoft has their new system coming out, Xbox. And, that was the thing, was like, it was new, so like she had to remember it was called Xbox, and a game was called Halo. And I didn't think she'd even go for it. And sure enough, on Christmas that year, I got an Xbox with Halo, and I actually got other controllers too, so I could play with my brother and everything. And oh my god, that was freaking amazing. So, definitely like one of the most memorable shooters of all time, one of my favorite shooters ever, is definitely Halo. My favorite shooter of all time, I'm probably gonna have to reserve a spot for that to be the Doom franchise. I can't give it to anybody else because I sort of grew up playing Doom when it was new, and when I was a kid, and followed it, kept playing it. And I've always loved the games. So Doom definitely is like up there for me. Also, I used to play Duke Nukem a lot too, but that's obviously up there too. But like, there's so many shooters that are just, copy and paste Call of Duty shooters. So when we can still have this original concept like Doom coming out, still doing it right, like Doom Eternal. That's definitely says something about a franchise that can do that. So like, as far as like favorite games are concerned, um, do I say Doom 2 is my favorite game ever then? Since that's my favorite Doom? No. No. Because I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to say, while Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite Final Fantasy, since I typically play shooters a little bit more than fantasy games these days, therefore this is better than this. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's how I grade things. So that's why like it's hard for me, like if somebody just says like, well, it's like top 5 games, it's like, man, there's so many, and now I want to break it down by genre. So that's a little bit of what I'm going to do today, like all right, so for example, you guys already know, I just said it, my top fantasy RPG is probably Final Fantasy, and then Final Fantasy VIII being the favorite one. Why haven't I played that on the channel before? I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The reason I just haven't gotten around. I am planning to do this. The idea is that I want to finish this, unlike other things that I typically do on the channel, and I want to know that I have the time, like between here and here. If that makes sense to you guys, to actually do that, so that way I don't start it. I did this with 10. I started playing 10 and haven't finished it on the stream. And so I want to do this. And for Final Fantasy VIII especially being my favorite one, I don't want to start it and then not consecutively finish it. That's what I want to do. And so like I'm just trying to figure out when I'm going to actually do that. Like do all of these streams. I was going to do this with Crisis Core, and then it's the sort of thing where like, I know Final Fantasy music is copyrighted, but I don't know. I just getting hit by multiple companies from on the same stream. Like it's kind of weird, I feel like that should be all in the same thing. So I don't know. I just feel a certain way about doing that when it's multiple companies, like just because the game's playing music. Does that make sense? But then at the same time, what's a Final Fantasy game without the music? So anyway, my reason for playing games originally was, essentially this was something that my brother did and my older brother's friends did, so it was like, oh, that's the cool thing. What's funny is when I grew up, there was definitely a period of time where like it wasn't cool. Like it still wasn't cool yet, if that makes sense. So like I actually did grow up sort of still during the awkward time where like if you kind of were a gamer, some people would think that's cool, but then there would be a gigantic huge group of people that would be like, oh man, this is an addiction or blah 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 blah, whatever thing they want to call it. So I definitely met a lot of different people that over the years essentially got me into many different genres of gaming, because I know because, and I think that's actually what it is. is because I grew up during the time where consoles had to be competitive in order to survive. You know, it wasn't just a new console was coming out and everyone wanted it, no matter what it was, and it just exists because it's Sony or Microsoft coming out with a console, or Nintendo. And that's the truth. Is they actually had to be competitive. Now, not really. Everything's ported and optimized for console, and it's sold the other way around. And so like you have a pretty large, you know, sort of market there for PC gamers that things have all of a sudden just changed rapidly. So essentially when I went, you know, essentially when I was growing up and playing lots of games, I definitely got the best of both worlds there. But then I also saw a lot of, you know, bad stuff over the years. But in my opinion, why would we talk about that? If it's bad, why am I going to waste my energy talking about it? I'm going to talk about stuff that I like. Unless it's actually, like, causing me a problem or something, then I'll talk about it. But, like, yeah. I'm not going to spend my time talking about stuff I don't like. There's a reason to do that. Yeah, I don't understand those folks that spend an entire stream, like, dissing games or something. It's like, well, then why would you play it? Just play something you like, then. Now, I've had games over the years where this was, like, my favorite game, and slowly but surely, because a company didn't care about the game that they put out, didn't care about the developers, and stuff like that, the game completely changed, and now I'm trying to play it, trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, and slowly but surely the game is just changing, and that I understand, that I don't like either, and that's like Hearthstone, that's like every Blizzard game I've ever played has fallen victim to that. But like pretty much every single one. You know what I mean? Like, even StarCraft 2, basically, the reason that's completely unplayable is because now that higher frame rates are accepted and it's capped at like 30 FPS, that's why nobody wants to play it. That's why they that's why they originally banned it like way overseas and stuff, because they were talking crap on it because they were having the higher frame rate monitors before we were, because stuff comes out over there before it comes out over here. Like it was just one thing after another. They just didn't want people, you know, complaining about it. So anyway, that I do believe is causing a little bit of an issue. But you know, we have to do a little bit better, and that's the point. Is like when it has healthy competition, games, you know, essentially, like when a game comes out on PC first and does really well, and then gets put on console, it's just way like better for the community and stuff like that, because you know the game's not ported then. And then, you know, they can endlessly add stuff to the game. They don't have to worry too much about patching. It's not just a giant headache for what's supported and what isn't, because it was originally made and optimized for PC. So anyway, this is why, like, a lot of times these days, like, games that are simpler, like pixelated graphics, this is why we've been playing more roguelike games, because stuff like this, it's easier to code these days for that, and have them more accepted by like a wider range of systems. So the question then becomes, you know, like favorite games as far as like overall, you know, because now I am playing some more roguelike games, because I played these games a long time ago, like when like Nintendo was out, and like original Nintendo, and like I was playing like Gauntlet 4 with my brother and stuff. And yeah, I played games like this, but it was very different, obviously. Like, it didn't run smooth. You know, it like there was frame rate loss. You know, we didn't care. You know, but you know, that's the point, is I did play things like that. And so now essentially because we have PC, we can make these awesome games and sort of reduce them a little bit with those pixel graphics. Now we should be able to essentially make anything happen on the screen with decent graphics these days with all that stuff going on. But because, like I said, of optimization where it is, this becomes, you know, it just comes down to the whether the system can handle it or not these days. So that's why we want these optimized for PC first. So like that's why it's cool playing through these games like 20 Minutes Till Dawn. I had fun playing through that. Obviously, like we only we only got some stuff unlocked, and I kind of wasn't the greatest at it, but you know, I'm still kind of learning. I got better, obviously, and we tried the other game that was pretty good. What Tiny Rogues, was it Tiny Rogues Between Heaven and Hell or something like that? That was excellent, really excellent game. So I don't know. I really like this genre now, and so I'm gonna maybe have to experiment with games that I never touched from the genre before, like Hades, or something like that. We'll see. But let's go ahead and just say that, like, all right, so like you guys already know that I love the Metal Gear Solid series. So that's probably like if you put that up there as my favorite like espionage game, it's really hard for me to pick at this point. That's why I want to play Snake Eater again, because thinking about it now, I might change my mind and say Snake Eater's my favorite now. Now with a more like, what's the word for, experienced gaming mindset, you know, because like before it was just I liked the original for nostalgia, I'll admit that, because it was the first one I played. Metal Gear Solid being the original. Obviously, I'm not talking about the other two games before that. But I might end up liking Snake Eater more now that, like I said, I have a more experienced gamer mindset now, and because objectively it is better. There's more of a survival aspect to it. It is essentially more realistic in the concept that it makes you feel involved in the game. You know, like you are definitely. You know, when we first played that was like, man, this is like the best game I've ever played. So anyway, let's go ahead and just say that, like, you know, like Metal Gear Solid and Snake Eater and stuff like that, that's like probably like my favorite espionage. Now, we'll put like Hitman 2 up there as probably like a close second, just because I love that one so much. Hitman 3 is just not hitting like Hitman 2 did for me. I really wish that, you know, we didn't have so many issues over the years with Hitman 3. It could be because they're, you know, like I said, that this is what happens with developing companies as they become bigger. They want to move on to bigger projects, and they got confirmed for 007. So I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, but they did get confirmed for 007. And so essentially, you know, what I'm going to do is assume that, you know, that has something to do with it. But they did get confirmed with 007, and I can't wait for, you know, like whatever new James Bond game IOI has to work on, because they are a good developer. And the James Bond games were some of my favorite too. I loved GoldenEye. Loved it. But let's be honest, that was we can't even take that seriously as an espionage game. That was just, it was just more fun, you know. Some of the other ones were a lot better at it. I liked Agent Under Fire. That was pretty decent, but like some of the newer ones were good too, like Bloodstone and stuff. Some of the ones with Daniel Craig in them. So anyway, I do like some. Obviously I do like horror games some, but that's sort of like that's how I feel about like movies. Um, I've always felt that way about movies too. Like with even with movies, I'll tell people, like there's a million horror movies out there. If I watch a horror movie, it needs to be different than the same 5,000 other stabby stab movies I've seen. So with horror movies, or I'm sorry, with horror games, it needs to be the same thing. It can't be Resident Evil all over again. And there needs to be some sort of regular, unique scare in the game where like I feel immersed in a horror game. That's it. And you can do this with mechanics. That's genius. When they can do it with mechanics, like the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, you wouldn't even think that's a horror game, but it is psychological horror. Some people would enter that game and just be like totally freaked out by it. I think it's funny. Like I think the whole thing is hilarious, but it might get to some people, and so I think that's genius. There are other games kind of like that too. I think if you can make a truly good psychological horror, genius, or also something with good ambience that has that horror effect too. I know we talked about playing Dark. We'll probably do that. Yeah, we'll still probably do that. There's just a lot of other things I'm doing right now, but my favorite game in the horror series is probably the original Resident Evil 4 and Silent Hill 2. That's probably up there. I know we've played this before and I've said this before, but I also really like a game. I played it on the channel before. It's called Unheard. It's literally just a game where you like sit and listen to audio, and it's a mystery, and you have to figure out, some stuff. And so essentially, that's what you're doing is, you're just sitting there figuring stuff out. So we have somebody messing around causing a problem today. But anyway, yeah, it's probably those two. And then Unheard's up there too, but like I have like there's many others that I do like. Resident Evil Village is up there too. Like that ties for first place for me a lot of times with 4, because essentially it's the sort of thing where it was just a 10 out of 10, plain and simple. Now, if I was another streamer, I'd be like freaking out right now. But really, all I'm gonna say is, why isn't XSplit's little cam better? I suspect since certain people are cycling in and out, certain other people have made certain people aware of certain things, and they're trolling right now. I think that's what they're doing. I think people are trolling right now. Because I think people are trolling right now. Just trying to cause a problem. I'm getting really sick and tired of people that essentially have tech knowledge and work, like don't work for, but basically do. And they hang out. They're like mods or subs on other channels, and then they know what this or that does, so they sit and they cause problems for your channel. So like this. Yeah, like the camera didn't do this at the start of the stream. It started doing this the more we were talking about stuff. So like essentially this is just that's where I know, like, when the problem didn't happen initially, like right away, it's because of something a troll is doing to cause the problem. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna just randomly start happening. If it was gonna happen, it would have happened when I was, essentially sitting here at the beginning of the stream for like, doing that test, making sure that it works. But, essentially that's what they're doing. They're just sitting here trying to clip what I'm saying or something like that, or troll or report or something like that. And it's doing this. So this is the stuff I'm talking about. This is like harassment on its pretty top level. See that? Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, we're not gonna like. Yeah, I would. Should I start pacing around back and forth? Is that what I should do? All right, I'm gonna pace. Should I pace around back and forth? and like, should I start rocking? Should I start rocking as I'm talking? Should I rock? Is this what we do now? Do we rock? I just don't care. Like, it's just like it's almost like people think like I'm gonna like freak out or something. So like that's the point, is like they're just trying to cause a problem. See if maybe this will cause them to not be able to do this. Hold on. Yeah, they're still kind of doing it. So this is basically what they're doing is they're trying to restream it. So essentially make me look like I'm, you know what I mean? Like essentially if somebody's restreaming something that's bad for you, because then it cuts viewerships down, and it drives down because they'll figure out where it's coming from, and then at the same time it causes problems like this. So somebody's trying to restream my stuff, and you're not supposed to do that. Like, you can watch it, you can't restream it. You're not really supposed to do that. So anyway, yeah, this is just jealous people. Anyway, my favorite game in pretty much just like online genre was always WoW. And like I said, I grew up playing Warcraft 3 and stuff. This is like China. Yeah, these are hackers. It's literally a hacker. This is literally a hacker. That's what this is. So essentially, like, a remote desktop attempt does cause your camera to have problems. And, you know, especially the more now that I call it out and know who it is, they're gonna try to essentially do what they can and bombard as many attempts as they can until they get stopped. So that it'll probably happen a whole bunch now. Yep. Yep, that's what they're doing. It's just that, like, they can't remote desktop me, so, like, they're just triggered. They're just, it's because we were sharing about the Chinese hackers. Yeah. So that, like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, this isn't. It doesn't just do that. That doesn't make any sense. Why would it do that? It wouldn't. Yeah, like, it works just fine. So, favorite game, period. Really, really hard to decide. Like I said, they're by genre. I do have a lot of time invested in, you know, like, management style games, and like, I used to play lots of RTS games too, so that's why I got into management style, like base building and all that. Because in management style games or resource management, you have, like, lots of base building. So I play lots of stuff like that too. You guys have seen me play Park Attacked. That's a park, amusement park building game. You know, I've played Planet Coaster, and I play Tower Defenses too, and that's money management. Yeah, like, this is literally a hacker. They're really curious. They're literally just trying to hack the camera. Yeah, they're looking at the other side of the stream. They just want to see what's behind the camera. I don't know why. Yeah, it seems really strange. Yeah, because that's why it's coming off so many times. Essentially, what they're doing is they're removing the thing behind me so that they can see what's behind me. They're just removing it. So essentially, it's just flickering on and off. That's why. Yeah, so I'm not really sure who's doing this or why, but it's weird. Let's see if a certain person is still live. Or if this conveniently happened conveniently right after all that. Let's go find out. Live their life in the fantasy world, and there you go. You got a multi-billion-dollar game right there. You'll never need to make another game, and you can just indefinitely make DLC for that. And perfect experience.
Re-release it on multiple generations of consoles. They've already.
There you go, guys. I wanted to show you that it was not. Yeah, I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that it was not, in fact, anything having to do with, you know, the green screen thing. So just as you guys can see, it's still happening. So this is conveniently after I spent a little bit of time watching a certain person's stream today. This is right after that. And again, as you can see, I wanted to show you guys this has nothing to do with the removal of that thing. It's not that. It's still happening. It's just that. This is a hacker. They're literally sitting here, just capturing everything my camera's doing, recording it. This is a hacker. So essentially, if you guys remember when I used to complain about hackers and scammers before causing a bitrate problem, the idea is that they get pissed off when I say about this because then it exposes them. So remember, every time I say something to expose what they do, they change what they're doing. So now they're just fucking with the camera. That's what they're doing. Now they're just fucking with the camera. And as I tell you guys all the time, it's just something new. Every time your channel grows, then there's something new that they fuck with to try to drive down the numbers. So we had a stream yesterday, had almost 200 views. As you guys know, that's the point. Like, you know, my views really are kind of low, and they have been. They always were. Because that's the point. Every time I'm about to grow, some big thing like this happens where these terrorists control the traffic by basically making it look like there's something wrong consistently. And then this triggers a response so people leave your channel. That's it. And any sane person, that's the point, is like most people just give up. I'm still here. Because I know flat out this is somebody doing this. Because I have enough knowledge to know this is somebody doing this. There's nothing wrong with the equipment. There's nothing wrong with the connection. There's nothing wrong. That's why I know this is somebody just doing this. Flickering the camera. 0 dropped frames. Bit rate's fine. Camera's yet flickering. So that's the point. That's why they all came in here with their fucking spam accounts to talk about how I complain about bitrate. And how, like, oh, I just ban people and stuff. They literally just send all their accounts in here. This is pretty pathetic. And as you can see, they are controlling traffic. I'd call that controlling traffic. 3 concurrents the whole time. Numbers don't move. And again, screens flickering. Remember, they just change what they're doing each time. So we start complaining about the bitrate. They come in with all their alt accounts saying that I'm crying about bitrate and I can't game when a bitrate's low. No, I physically can't. Good job, morons. Yeah. Lowering bitrate crashes a stream. Idiots. Of course it does. So of course I can't game. Like, that's how stupid and basic these hackers and scammers are. So that's the point. Like they're literally they're so insulted and triggered by me. They're sitting here every single day doing something new. And it's literally just because it's literally just because I talk crap about hackers. That's it. So these people are so fucking pathetic that they can't take an insult and move on with their lives. Yeah, that's really sad. So this is the point, is they sit here, like the people wanting to wreak havoc on the U.S. infrastructure. Like, these are people that are just... Like what are you doing with your life? Like that you do these things, that this is important to you. It's pretty pathetic. So again, we shared a bunch of links talking about the hacking situation, how serious it is. We already know that they essentially were able to break my PC monitor by sending a signal, which essentially blew the fuse. And conveniently, whenever I would talk about this months ago, I would get a crap load of concurrence. Like, we're talking like 6 months to a year ago when I was talking about this, I would get a crap load of concurrence. I am not oblivious to the fact that the FBI is completely abhorrently ignorant to these things, and started becoming aware of it when I was talking about it. And I got attacked. And the power went out in my fucking area. And my monitor was broken. And all this shit starts happening to my stream. And they suddenly become aware of these things. Hello! And they start becoming aware of these things. So then they start coming in by storm. Just because they can. And so therefore, everything's breaking left and right. Break. Do you see this? How bad the camera is? Yeah, so it makes me wonder if part of this is the FBI is so fucking ignorant that they have no fucking clue how they're doing this. So therefore, they're causing these problems, trying to look into it, trying to figure out why on earth they would attack me. Is it really that fucking... Are you really that oblivious? Do you need the analyst to tell you? Because I'm white. Because I'm Naruto. Did you not watch that show? These people actually grow up thinking the epitome of existence is to have white skin and blonde hair. And therefore you'll be given that's what these people think. They actually think that you'll be given everything just because, like, do you have any idea how hard I've had it because so many people actually assume that and think that you're good? Oh, he's good. And then my own pride doesn't let me ask for help? Yeah. So that's the point, is like, you don't understand, like, nah. It's not like that. And they don't get that it's just a stereotype they're doing themselves. And they really think that. It's not something I'm just saying. Like that. Come on. It's a. Do you not see like that they like that's the point, is like that's why they like that artist did that. That's the point, is like even like some people back then were thinking that way. That's why Naruto was made the person he was made. That's why he was drawn the way he was, when everybody else around him was classically with dark hair and stuff like that. And then Naruto conveniently has the blonde hair and stuff like that, and he's the only one originally. And then way later in Shippuden, now we're going to add a guy with blonde hair because that's his dad and stuff like that. No, it's because in their culture, this is what they were taught. He was right. The person who originally wrote that was literally just using this from his own knowledge. That was the inspiration for it. Not to say anything bad about it. I'm just saying that's the point, is like huge amounts of people around the world just assume so much based on the way you look, the way you appear to be. And, you know, I come on my stream. I have Sifu in my name, which is Chinese, by the way. And I talk about hackers and what a serious problem it is, and what scammers, what a serious problem it is. I was a martial arts instructor of Chinese Kung Fu. I talk about this stuff. And it appears to them like I would have money, right? Because, like the setup's yeah. So this is what they do. This is the point. You know, the idea is essentially to... They want to know. I think the idea is they want to know. I think this is all very strange that this is also conveniently happening right around when we were like on stream talking about the federal deficit and everything like that. All very interesting, isn't it? Stuff that anybody could access at any time and show on the internet. And so fucking many people are so ignorant to that information that nobody does. So therefore I do. And like it's the sort of thing where like a bajillion people are like, holy shit, I didn't even know. Holy, you know, like just everybody that would have seen that in that moment would have probably thought, I didn't even realize you could do that, or something like that. Like a lot of people don't. So anyway, I think this is ridiculous. To have this much of an issue with Chinese hackers. Because it is an issue. It's not just like, oh, I'm just throwing it out there. Because, no, like I said, we did this. Should we do it again? We'll do it again, because I think maybe some people might not be aware, maybe weren't here. This was literally like the past like 2 days. We have had all of these warnings. Here's just one. I'll give you guys a few if you want. the past few, like, I did this already, but like I only did it. Here we go. I shared this. Oh, see, this is the problem. YouTube's a fucking pain in my ass. So this is like I'll share a few of these. Like when you can reference this many, like this was breaking news, and this is stuff we've been talking about forever, and it was all over the news the past few days. And I've been talking about this forever. And conveniently, right when it's all over the news, and conveniently then when I share those links in the chat, conveniently we start having this flickering camera issue. Or, you know, like we talk about the dropped bitrate and stuff like that. And, you know, we have to talk about that enough times that they actually do something about it. So now they're doing the flickering camera thing. Because that's the point. They just switch what they do. Because, you know, that's the idea, is that the closer, if they keep doing the same thing, then they'll get closer to catching them. So they got to do something new. Here's another one. I mean, like it doesn't, like, this is what's going on, guys. And like I said, I've been talking about this for a while, but I think everybody else thinks these are conspiracies that I'm talking about. No, this is real. It happened. I mean, I was like, I had just had like some big release for Super Junior. There was a lot of traffic on my channel coming from that part of the world. I was trending in that part of the world. People were becoming aware of me. And like that was I think the issue. I was starting to get a lot of copyright hits in Japan, stuff like that, and that's fine. They can take that stuff. If it's copyrighted for them, that's fine. And I was even saying that. But then it's just like, you know, like huge amounts of jealousy and stuff like that, and they just want to cause problems. And so I start becoming more and more popular, and every single time I would get like on some sort of stream or something like that, then we start having problems. Like a real big release or something especially, we really have problems then. And especially if it's banned in China, then it's like the worst you've ever seen. So like with Hearthstone, immediately the other day when we got on, the first match we get into, we have a dude intentionally fucking deranking, trying to lose on purpose. His name is 2 Chinese fucking characters. I can't even read his name. And he's sitting there with the most generic hunter deck I've ever seen. Plays 2 fucking generic Murlocs. By the way, a Murloc deck isn't part of that. You don't make a hunter Murloc deck. That's not a fucking thing. It's not a thing. He doesn't take his turn for like 5 turns when I let him. Intentionally sits there. Like, it was just so obvious. And it's the first match. And I've been saying this for freaking ever. That the Chinese are trying to steal my fucking Blizzard account. I don't know why. But they are. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, this is the sort of thing where, like, you know, you guys have to realize this is pretty bad. You know, like you're sitting here on a stream and this happens? Are you kidding me? Yeah, we had to go back to the normal setup. This is a normal setup. There's anything wrong with it. I just, like what did they think they were going to see? Yeah, like, I'll admit, like, the only thing I did, yeah, I checked some of the reports and stuff. And then essentially all I did was just we got a plate sitting here and couple of cans. So, all right, let me move this stuff. Put the camera back on. Big fucking deal. Yeah, like you're gonna see, like there's something back here to see or something. Like who the fuck? So that's my point. Are we stupid yet? Or are we smart? Are we gonna realize this is actually a real problem? Yeah, so the bitrate was an issue. Now my fucking camera just like, and that's the point. What even is this? What even is this? I've been saying this for fucking years, and nobody's listening. And now, the Chinese, I just gave you all articles of how they're going to wreak havoc on U.S. infrastructure. And right in front of you, it's happening for years. And I'm fucking talking about it. So that everybody knows. And people are just like, dur, dur, dur. Dur, dur. Dur, 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 dur. This is what everyone's doing. Dur, dur, dur. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's because of his internet. That's because of his internet. That's because of his internet. That's his internet. That's because of his internet. When for years I've been literally telling you it's the exact things in the freaking links I just shared you. It's literally Chinese hackers. And then they come in here with their alts trying to make it a racist thing. Pretending to be Americans because they know Americans have a problem with racism. So they come in here literally just stirring that pot. It's so obvious. I've been saying this for years. Nobody cares. Nobody listens. You gonna start listening soon? I hope. Like, this is insane. And here I've been sitting here just a target this whole time. It's literally happening to me in front of all of you. And you're all next. And then just nobody. Dur, dur, dur. Let's keep voting for morons. Yeah, let's keep voting morons into office that keep dumbing down the FBI. Let's keep doing that. Yeah, anybody that gets elected and immediately fires a bunch of personnel, that's a bad. That's bad. Don't elect that person again. They should trust that organization. And then they hire, if they fire a bunch of personnel to hire people that are seemingly just unfit for the position, have like almost little experience for what the position is that they would be doing there. That makes no sense, and it's very weird. You know, the FBI functioned in the shadows pretty well for a long time. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of Americans started acting like morons. And blaming the FBI for this and that. And then politics got involved. That's what happened. Y'all need to just realize you don't know jack squat about what goes on at the FBI. You don't know jack squat about politics. You don't know jack squat about half of this stuff. You have to start admitting to it. Because that's the only way that you actually can watch a news report or read something that's news and go, I'm going to question this instead of accepting it just because it agrees with whatever political thing that somebody else told me to agree with. Yeah, just because I'm a Republican or a Democrat, it just goes along with that, so therefore I'll agree with it. Oh yeah, it goes against the other guys, so therefore I must agree. This is bad. And the rest of the world knows that this is exactly how we are. The United States can easily be manipulated in that aspect, and they have already been for a long time. Now it's just going to happen on a bigger scale. The worse it gets. When Americans would rather vote for somebody that shouts over somebody else as opposed to somebody that actually constructively talks about an argument, there's a lot to be said about that. There is. You'd rather vote for the guy with the bigger stick. Bad. Yeah, unfortunately, the guy with the bigger stick, he just wants the bigger stick. So if China can give it to him, he'll make a deal with them no matter how many lives it costs. Suddenly doesn't sound so good anymore, does it? Yeah, as a narcissist, you don't vote for somebody like that. There's a lot of misunderstood politics and world views. And people want to compartmentalize other people way too much. And like this is the result of that. You have entire countries. For example, North Korea. Does anybody know what it's like to live in North Korea? They're lied to. Their media is controlled. They have one brand of mayo, one brand of ketchup, one car. Maybe they got a couple of different trucks to choose from. And it's way worse than the tourist places that you have to visit. If you actually would somehow visit North Korea, they do have tourist places to make it look a certain way for people that visit. It's far worse than you would think. This is what it looks like when you have a leader that just wants to have the biggest stick. Talking about a guy that literally talks about testing missiles all the time. And things like that. And wants to control free speech. That's the idea. He controls his media. People think he's God. They actually think he doesn't have bowel movements and things like that. That's pretty bad. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about cult followings. We're talking about this is how dangerous it's starting to get. I've heard people in this country actually tell me that they actually think that Donald Trump is the incarnation of Jesus Christ. Holy shit. You have some severe mental problems. If you think that Donald Trump is the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, your reading comprehension is not there. You are insane, probably. You probably are a narcissist, but most likely you're just really ignorant. Your reading comprehension skills aren't there. I'm just being honest. You probably just need to learn how to read better. And then, look at this. Just nonstop issues. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And like I told you guys before, I mean, this is a hacker. That's what this is. As I said before, when they can't do the bit rate, they switch to something else. They're sitting here literally just trying to hack the fucking stream. They're just like, look how much worse it gets now that I'm talking about it and there's more people in here. Look at how much worse it gets. Bitrate's fine. This is a hack. That's what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a scramble of information because they are receiving that information. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. Yeah. You know, as much as I support that administration, I have to say, Liam, I was very disappointed that he walked away from that question about Chinese hackers recently, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, as much as I do support that administration and everything he stands for, and God bless the man for wanting to die in office. God bless the man for wanting to die in office. But damn it, why did he walk away about a question having to do with Chinese hackers when we clearly have a fucking problem with Chinese hackers? Like, hello? Oh, hello? Hello? It's his internet. It's his internet. It's his internet. Liam, you know. I think at this point we know each other. You've been around the channel long enough. You've seen enough of this stuff. You've been around for a while now. You've seen it all, man. And you've probably gotten to the point now where you're starting to see what I'm saying, where it's literally like the point is, yeah, it's been going on forever. That's the point, is like anytime I do something, you know, and I appreciate you saying that, Liam, because like that's the point, is like you've been here for a while, man, and like now you've seen it now. Like, where every time I have something I want to do, and you know, we're about to go to the next level, we have lots of traffic. Essentially, the next stream is a hacker trying to cause a problem. So I was complaining about the bitrate, and then now this is an issue. And Cookie, remember we tried to say this was the VCam before? It's not. I switched to the normal setup to show that this is happening. Yeah, it's a hack. This is a hacker. Yeah, this is a hacker, dude. No. Camera's not glitched though. Camera works fine. So the camera wasn't doing this when I started the stream. Now it is. And it won't be doing this after either. Yep. It's like I said, it's just like all the other stuff. It's his internet. It's his internet. And now somebody will be like, "Oh, that's just his camera. That's just his camera. It's just his Yeah, you want me to prove it's not my camera, I will, but yeah, like that's the point. Like, you want me to do an upload just to prove it's not my camera, I'll do that. But like that's like it's so ridiculous, you know? So like that's why I'm not even bothering with that. It's not my camera. I would know, like there'd just be certain things I would just know immediately. It never happens. Yeah, I know, you're here all the time. It's meant to derail you so you troubleshoot, lose train, thought, and stop speech. Yeah. That's what the yeah exactly, and then also they want to track your they want to track your reports too, so they want you to report through Google. I don't think Nightbot has the authority to time out mods, to be perfectly honest with you. Cookie. Just saying. Yeah, so like you could probably get away with anything. Nightbot probably wouldn't. Yeah. So like for example, my other stream, it's every time we have a big stream. So like my last stream is at 196 views. My last stream's at 196 views. Oh yeah, there's no doubt that if like something happens with all this, I'll just sue the Chinese government. Yeah, like if something ever happens with all this and I find out that it's been them the whole time, well, sure, I'll just sue the Chinese government. Yeah, absolutely. But like I don't, it's the sort of thing where the FBI needs to be better at you know, stopping this. I'm an American. I've lost power. This is probably what caused my monitor to break. Remember, Liam, I said it was really hard to prove, but it almost seemed like somehow the scammers destroyed my monitor. When they can do this, yeah, I mean, if your monitor has a fuse in it, I mean, that needs to be a really constant, connection, and the slightest bit of faltering. That's why there's so many like inner workings of the components and stuff, resistors, capacitors. That's the point. Usually on a circuit board, a big fuse like in a monitor like that will typically have like a nice big capacitor next to it, so it can store extra, essentially extra juice, so it's not going into the fuse too hard, and that's the point. So like when my fuse just goes out and that's it, it's like, come on, there was nothing wrong with the panel. You know what I mean? What if it's the FBI? Well, and that's my point, is like I often wonder, if essentially it's them investigating. Like essentially they see it happening, and so they're trying to figure out where it's coming from, and it causes this. And if that's the case, I'll sue the FBI because they can't do this. But I don't think it is. Yeah, like it. I don't typically think that way. I'm not just like, oh, I'm out to get like I'm not gonna sue this person or that at this point, you have to realize that like I have been like I've said before, I've like bled for this channel. Like it's the sort of thing where I made it very obvious that I'm here to stay, and you're not gonna stop me, and they keep doing it. So I really doubt that's the FBI. That's a hacker. Like I don't see a US. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make any sense. A Chinese hacker? Yeah. Yeah. Things they don't understand. Makes more sense in my opinion. Yellow. Yellow, you're not gonna get mod, especially acting like that. But you have to realize that like mod is given to people that show up and prove that they're supportive after a while. And I typically don't give it to minors. So I'm sorry, but it's the sort of thing where you have to be able to moderate things, and yeah, you just be understanding of that. You explain. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, I did. No, Cookie, I started on the VCam. I reset it. I started with the whole green screen thing. I didn't start with a normal setup. That was the point. Was like I had to reset it to even get to this. I've reset it like 3 or 4 times now. Yeah. These are hackers, dude. This is not a That's not what a bad connection looks like. It's just not what it looks like. It's really not. Like, I know how crazy that sounds, but I have flat out seen enough bad connections to know what this is, and I've seen this before. This is somebody using software to restream this, to essentially pull my stream through the internet. They're just doing it with the camera, though. They're not doing it with the whole stream. And that's why the camera's doing that, because it can't handle the information. It's essentially trying to split the signal. Did you see the "Don't Touch Her Chinese Piano" incident? No. What is that? Should I? I think I know what you're talking about, Liam. Hold on. Wow. I'm reading all about it. Yeah, and that's just it. That's just it, Liam. Is like with China the way it is, like there's so many different laws about everything because they want to control the world. And that's why like that's the point, is like China over the years have proven that essentially all they do is get worse and worse with thinking that like all right, so like discipline is good, but like they got way overhand with it. Like they want to control thought. How many wars over the years were waged in China? Like did you ever see the movie Warlords, where essentially you had wars, people brutally fighting each other and killing and stuff over the concept of whether or not we should have, one guy that decides religion and education and everything like that, or if we should have a more of like a democracy where people vote and there's a cabinet, like a group of people. And this is China. This is literally like literally China. And just throughout history, they just keep fighting with each other. And so you have your mainland China, but then you have like the rest of China. And if you guys remember, maybe you don't, maybe some of you are too young to know this, but for years, over even in the UK, they actually called it, wasn't it called like Burma or something like that? I probably can't even say that. I don't care. The point is, I remember a very specific, one of the ways I actually became educated about this and then started looking more up about it was actually an episode of Top Gear where they had invited all three of them to drive and essentially, film sections of the land that nobody had ever seen before. And that's the point, is like not even a camera had seen them before. So these folks, like, essentially it's sort of kind of like Amish, except way worse. Because like now we're talking about like now we're talking about like, well, I there's certain words I actually can't say. So like, yeah, like there's the worst of the things that you can imagine, and essentially like controlling the general, like sort of what North Korea does, but like communist, like just way worse. Like they're not. It's called the Communist Party of China, but they're technically not technically communist. But that's the point, is Putin wants to spread communism. He is doing this. Everybody sort of kind of knows at this point, if all you want to do is just take over more land and then you have the biggest plot of land, yeah, like, what? Get over yourself. Yeah, that's like the guy who can't stop buying a bigger truck. Turns out the woman in the background was being investigated by MI5 as a spy, and they are trying to sue him and get the video taken down. Oh my god. Yeah. So I don't know if this has anything to do with it or not, but I do know that the Chinese feels a certain way about the fact that our suicide rate is very high. And I do know that, like, some of them try to claim that, you know, essentially the Chinese come here just to kill themselves and stuff like that. Like, that's sort of like the message that they try to peddle to people, and like, they don't like that, you know, like that they want, you know, like, that's essentially it, and that's why that's why they're doing what they're doing. And like obviously that's just an excuse, right? We all just create excuses for why, you know, like these, you know, like, that's the point, is like they all just create excuses to do terrible things instead of accepting that's a terrible thing. So that's the point, is, yeah, exactly. Yep. So I agree. So that's the point. And I honestly, like, don't have, I shouldn't say an ounce of sympathy, but like, it doesn't go very far with that stuff, because, you know, I sit here all day and call myself an idiot and have to realize when I'm wrong and stuff like that, and do this all the time. Yet you have these people on the opposite side of the world that have been sitting here ever since I have been in the public's eye and been trying to make me look a certain way, just because they stole some information from me years ago. You know, like, just because I'm a high-level martial artist, or whatever it is that triggers them, you know? So that's the point. And it shouldn't matter. Like that's China essentially thinks that way, and it's the sort of thing where like personal freedoms will be gone. We're talking about personal freedoms. We're talking about, like we said earlier, you go to North Korea and they got one type of mayonnaise. Who's to say that mayonnaise is any good? Maybe it sucks. Maybe there's an ingredient in there you have an allergy to, and now you can't eat any mayo in the entire country. Well, it's just one example. Like there could be millions of things. Let's say you said something. Well, pick the most basic American thing to do. Let's say you said something about the leader that everybody loves so much, and then just the next day you disappear. That's what would happen. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that was happening with Putin. It started raising eyebrows. Do you know that? Do you guys know this? Liam, you probably know this. There was like a while back, there was a guy that was going to testify against essentially against like this was like a while back when they did that like oil deal with Trump, and there was like some really weird thing going on with that. This guy was going to testify essentially against like the guys that were there investigating him and stuff like that. And I guess like right before the trial, he was shot, and they never found the sniper. Like he just was shot, and that's it. Just happened. And this was like right before the trial. So like this stuff happens. Just like Putin rigging his own elections. You guys know that Putin doesn't win elections. I don't know, maybe some Russians don't know that. My stream might be banned in your country now. That's the point, is information's controlled on that side of the world. It's not over here. Yeah, people just think that it is. Because there's so much misinformation, that's why they think that. They believe the misinformation instead of the... Because that people want to believe something crazy instead of something rational. Or just the terrible truth, No, you're talking about... Are you talking about Kavanaugh? You're talking about Kavanaugh, right? No, I read it. I was reading through it a little bit just now. Yeah, the lady standing in the back, the obvious mole. She's like standing there. Yeah, like see, that stuff's like obvious to me. See, I always thought like some people are just so weak. Like they send a Chinese mole and like these men that can't control. Like that's the point. Is like I always think some people are so weak and they would never see through that. It's like I see that coming. That shit coming. I would see that coming a mile away. I don't know. But yeah, that's what they do. Obviously. These days. Yeah, that's what they do. They use so essentially China will use women as moles. So like that's the idea is they'll pretend to be like, the new girlfriend or something of this person they're spying on. Like what mail order brides. Yeah, like literally, like essentially a rich businessman goes on the internet, finds a mail order bride thing. Oh, it's legal over there. Okay, does it the legal way. Goes over there to do it the legal way. Meanwhile, this lady is just a spy, brings her back here. Yeah, you're right, Liam. Yeah, customs is... Durr. Durr, durr. Just like people think that border security means a wall. I can't roll my eyes hard enough at that statement. I really cannot. I really cannot roll my eyes hard enough at the statement that border security means a giant fucking wall. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough. If I rolled my eyes hard enough at that fucking statement, they would like literally just rip out of their own sockets. Cookie, I should Cookie, I should just talk politics. Look how many concurrents we have in here, right? This is the problem. This is why people hate me. But then we get concurrence. Yeah, people hate me because I say what my opinions are. Except a lot of times I've found that my opinions come from a very, educated and informed resource instead of just, I read this headline. That's what a lot of people, that's what I've just found is like, it's with a lot of people, it's, I read this headline. Did you read the article? Well, no, but the headline said this. And when that's the ploy these days, when most headlines, I've flat out seen headlines say the exact opposite of the article. It's called clickbait. It's what streamers do. Streamers do it. I'll admit to doing it, making fun of somebody else before, because they do it. Because that's the point. I've always made fun of that whole concept. Even Asmund does that sometimes. He doesn't do it all the time, but he does it sometimes. It's funny when Asmund does it. He doesn't do it to be like toxic or anything. But like some people, they just do it all the time, and it's like so cringe. Yeah, I agree. It is crazy times. So yeah, reset the camera already a couple times. It didn't start this way either. It took a little bit. So that's the point, is like they had to come in and start doing it. Yeah, it wasn't like happening right away. So I guess this became more about Chinese hackers and being aware of that and stuff. Like I said, it doesn't take a genius to see what happened when I've been complaining about the fact that in one of the most high profile esports, things to happen in a while, especially over there. That's the thing, is a lot of people don't think it's that big. Hearthstone's actually really huge, and it's big overseas too. And they banned the esports in China. And so, like, they get triggered when stuff gets banned. And, God, and conveniently it happens even worse now. So, like, the point is, I've been talking about this for a long time and drawing attention to the fact that, we have a lot of hackers in Hearthstone itself. And in our games in general, like Call of Duty and stuff like that. I mean, I can go on Steam right now and read 1 million reviews from all these different Call of Duty games specifically because of one particular type of, code that they're running because of the way that game works. And, you know, that's the point, is like all these different people are leaving these reviews saying you will get hacked if you buy this game. You will get hacked if you buy this game. And they're different people with tons of reviews that, and so I'll even research it a bit. I'll even look into some of the accounts and discover that their reviews say different things. And they have a Steam level, and they have games, and they have played hours and stuff. I'm doing the research. I'm not just assuming these people are spam accounts trying to drive down the game. These are legitimate accounts, legitimate people actually saying, and tons of them actually saying, there is a crap load of hacking going on in Call of Duty. You physically cannot buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on Steam and play it online without somebody trying to hack you. It says it all over the freaking Steam reviews and stuff. We have talked about this on the channel before. The very first match that I get into in Hearthstone, in ranked standard play, the last time we played, the very first match, we have an intentional D-rank. The dude's literally just sitting there and just intentionally trying to lose. The most generic deck we saw. Again, not taking turns, just using his hero power. He has plenty of mana. He could do so many things. He could have killed my creatures so many times. I intentionally was trying to get him to win. I did things to try to get him to win. And he just kept not taking his turn, basically. And it was obvious. And he was obviously stream sniping. And we were talking about, this is the first freaking match. The first one! And the dude had like fucking Chinese characters as his name. What? Just pay attention now. Are you gonna start opening your eyes? For the fucking administrations, they handle this shit. The U.S. infrastructure. I've been bitching about this shit for years. And you're fucking just finding out about this? God, that's pathetic. I've been sitting on this goddamn channel telling you about this for years. Literally had a fucking power outage. And I told you, I even thought it was Chinese hackers somehow. I even said this to a friend of mine that knows a lot about tech, and it was like the sort of thing where it's like, well, it is hard to say that it would, you know, like that it was really convenient. And I'm sure he'd agree now with these articles and the way things are going. It's the point is, it's like, whoa, hold the phone. You mean to tell me they could have looked into this? Huh? It blows my mind. It does. It blows my mind. Because here we are, constantly getting hacked. Like they're just like, it's just like a constant restream thing, where they're just using the camera and just restreaming it. That's all they're doing. That's what this is. Camera doesn't, like, this isn't a bad connection. Yeah, that's not what it like I said, it's not what that looks like. And when I left earlier and I was doing what I was doing, I did check those things. That was what I was checking. Yep, I did a hard disconnect, reconnect. That's the thing, those were the things I was checking. I mean, I do my due diligence and troubleshoot things. Again, it didn't happen at the start. This exact glitch has happened once before, and we yelled at XSplit for it. And then in the follow-up streams, if you guys remember, it was more of a bitrate loss. it was something else, and then we complain about the bit rate, then they send all their spam and troll accounts in saying that I'm crying about bit rate. So then the YouTube figures this out, does something about this. Maybe they may ban some accounts so they can't do this anymore. So now they're messing with the camera again. No, like this isn't MDL. It's the trackers and the hackers that watch him. It's not. That's the point. Yeah, like that's the point. Is like it's literally the people that are just tracking what you're doing, and then following you. There was a night that I was exposing a bunch of people in Gordon Ramsay's live chat too. I was reporting them because they were sitting in there trying to get people to believe in like they were literally sitting in there trying to talk about like Bitcoin and stuff like that. Yeah, they were talking about that. And I was just like literally a scam. This is like any of that is like, you are so foolish. Like, just stop. Like, I was just like, just stop. It's a scam. Just fucking stop. You don't know what you're talking. Like, this is one of the most ignorant ways Americans have been fooled by the rest of the world. And it's like, it's the sort of thing where like so much of the rest of the world looked at that correctly. And so many Americans looked at this like this. Or sort of like this. That's how they looked at Bitcoin. And it's just like there was people sitting in Gordon Ramsay's chat trying to be like, you should buy this Bitcoin and you should buy, and like trying to get him to like, and like just talking about it, and like there's just like all these scam accounts. So like I was just like reporting this stuff because it was just like, what? And then like they were being insulting to like there was some stuff that was like so it was just like obviously like, you know, off key, and all I was doing was just, you know, anything that came through that was just actually legitimately like, what is this? You know, it was almost like, you know, I was trying to be a mod for like, you know, a little bit, because I was sitting there watching, and it was just like, it was almost like there was a couple of people actually in there kind of believing some of these alt accounts. And it was just obvious trolling. And I'm like, what is this? So, like, some things were misinformation, and then, like, I reported a couple of things. And then, like, sure enough, these people somehow, like, the very next stream I did, they essentially followed me into my stream and proceeded to harass and cause problems for my stream. And that's the point, is, like, I don't really go around and hang out in channels and streams. I don't do that. I really don't. You know, like, I literally, like, I don't have any interest in taking part in the chat. I just want to watch the stream. But when I go into Gordon Ramsay's thing, and Hotel Hell is playing live for obvious reasons, because there's kind of a weird legal matter of issue going on about that. I don't know if they're playing it live for that reason or whatever they're playing it live for. I don't care. They can play it live for whatever reason. I'm just going to watch it. But I went in there and I just see a bajillion obvious like accounts that were created a few days ago, or like just people obviously causing problems, spreading misinformation, trying to get people to think this or that. People that would be ignorant to these situations, maybe old people. Old people love Gordon Ramsay. And so, like, that's the point, is, like, they're just hanging out in there. Because they know that. So that's the point. I was literally just like, no. Absolutely, no. Not while I'm here. So I just sat there, and I was just like, nope. And they were getting triggered. And they kept following me around. And so they may have come back to follow me around to try to cause problems, to track me to come in here. I don't know. But my point was just that, like, essentially, it's happened before. And that's how I know, because like they cause a problem after that. But it's not like I spend my time going around to lots of chats and stuff like that. So I don't have a ton of examples of it. That's why. And I know how to remove trackers and cookies too. So there's been times where, like, I can confirm I did something like that, removed some trackers and cookies, and didn't have the issue. So it's pretty obvious. And, like, obviously I don't want to tell this stuff to you guys because, like, people learn from it and all that. But if there's some high-profile people watching and want to know why this is happening, that might get the ball rolling a little bit if I tell them those things. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where I've noticed that, like, there are countries that have become aware that Americans fall asleep to the TV and we don't have TV anymore. So since this stuff comes over the internet, they essentially do things while you're asleep. Like, so, like, let's say you have a smart TV or you have a device that plays this, especially one with a camera. That's not good, because then maybe you use that device to buy things or something like that, and you store your credit card on that device or something like that. Okay? So this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And I've noticed the trend where I'm there asleep. I don't have cable or anything like that. And I'm just watching my very absolutely free streaming service off of a web browser. And it's a completely free streaming service off of a web browser. And so this should just play no problem all throughout off my PC. Yeah, should just play no problem all throughout the night. We're not talking about an Xbox having some turn-off issue, this, that, and the other. We're talking about my PC now, off of a browser, playing all throughout the night. I've definitely woken up to the thing being completely black and frozen. And then there's a very small little icon in the top left corner that indicates that it can't act. Like, it's almost like there was an error. Why would that happen? It should just switch. Like, we're talking about like one of those free streaming services that just uses like the broadcast. So that's the point, is like they want to know what you're watching. They want to essentially grab that broadcast. And that's I don't know why, but I suspect that they're doing it to learn more about the ads in specific areas where people live, to learn habits more, because like ads and stuff are more specific to people and where you live. Like you're gonna have an ad for a gym that's nearby or something like that, versus like a car dealership that's near. That's a big one. Like local car dealerships and stuff like that. So I don't know if it has something to do with that. To try to trick people more using regular scams that they can learn information from the ads that you watch, or I don't know. I don't know why, but like it's just very obvious to me that something's going on there, where they want to learn stuff. And if you've noticed, as I talked about all of this, it wasn't happening for that whole time. How interesting. Are we not using ad block? I don't use, no, I don't. You cannot, like, you really can't be a streamer. YouTube just doesn't, like, if you stream to YouTube, like, YouTube just doesn't want you to use ad blockers, period, end of discussion. So, no. If I was using ad blocks, you guys would know it. Because, like, that was the sort of thing where, like, YouTube thought I was, and they were, like, making my ads black for the longest time. Then I got on a stream and complained about it. And they fixed it. Yeah. And like, it was like that for so long. And then I finally, like, yelled about it on a stream. About how it was like that for, like, forever. And then they just fixed it. And I was like, I'm not using an ad blocker. I haven't been using an ad blocker. And they literally just, like, my ad, they would play an ad, but it wouldn't play an ad. It would just be black. Yeah, it was like that for so freaking long. Yeah, exactly, Liam. Yeah, like this is what we're talking about. We're talking about how companies, big companies, data mine, and they know they do it. Big companies do actually have things like this, and they have alt accounts, and they have their bots, and they paid for that. And sometimes you talk shit about something, and they come in and try to downplay your stream because you're talking shit about that thing. But this is all very weird. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, especially when we started talking about favorite games and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is starting to be a sort of thing where, like, you have to recognize when hackers don't like it when you're when you're having fun and you're happy and stuff like that. They want to make your life miserable. That's why I say it's terrorism. Because every time we're talking about, like, I love this game, or we're having a good time, or, like, you know, there's a lot of views on the channel, so the next stream would be even bigger. That's the point. They're driving it down. They are spreading terror. Except via content creators. So essentially, the ones who can capitalize and already did just continue to do so. And it's a further divide of the middle class. It's on purpose. So, you know, like, there just needs to be legislation. And there's not. Yeah, ads are good. Like, ads are, what's wrong with ads? I'm fine with that. Yeah, they're supposed to be there. Ads are why I'm going to make money off of YouTube someday. They're literally supposed to be there. So, like, I'm not going to use an ad blocker. I think that, like, I think that's just stupid. I feel about that how I felt about Napster and stuff like that. Like, my opinion of that stuff has always been just that, like, you know, I understand if a band wants to do that, fine, let them. But if they consider it stealing, then that is supported too. Like you should be willing to agree that that's flat out stealing. Like, it's literally like, that's somebody else's creative content they're trying to sell, and you stole it. You didn't pay for it. You just downloaded it through the internet. Well, this is kind of like what the Chinese are doing and what everybody else is doing to my content. I am trying to legitimately be here, make creative content that's interesting, and I do. And people downplay it or never see it. And, like, the good streams are, like, some of the lowest viewed streams that I have for this reason. And then, like, people will be like, you played this? Or you know, like, they'll watch it later and be like, man, that was a lit stream. I don't know why it got such low views and stuff like that. I do. Things I've been talking about forever. I'm done beating a dead horse with this. It's an expression, by the way. All right, guys. I actually have to go like now. I wasn't planning on this. I wasn't even planning on being on here this long. I gotta go though. I literally have to go like right now. I am so sorry. Thank you so much for all the concurrence. I really appreciate this. This is hacking. It's obvious. I'm gonna do my due diligence and check this stuff one after the stream, but yeah, and then I remove the trackers after. I always do that. We talked about that earlier. But yeah, you're right. That's exactly the point. They're loaded with trackers, so it plays an ad and you get like a few thousand trackers per ad. Well, it's probably more like a few per ad. But like you watch a whole show, it's a few thousand. Yeah, I gotta go though. Thank you so much, Rezon. I appreciate you coming in with your knowledge. You sound knowledgeable. Great stream. Thanks, Liam. Yeah, I wasn't trying to like get like too mad, but like how can you not at this point? Like it's obvious harassment and I'm just staying just not even growing. Like it's just obvious. And we're talking about like easy like I don't want to even say the thing on stream cuz I don't want them to know. But like really high profile free streaming services that have like Comedy Central and stuff like that. You know, like just stuff everybody watches. Like we're not talking about like weird stuff. We're just talking about regular stuff. Yeah, like South Park, Tosh Point oh, or like I don't know. Like I watch funny stuff. Like I want to relax and sleep. Yeah, I don't have streaming services, you know, so I can't. But anyway, I gotta go. Thank you so much, guys.